Hey guys, Teacher Tommy here. Listen, I don't know if you're anything like me, but it seems like lately, since everything is kind of, at least in China, kind of getting a little back to normalcy, some of the kids are going back to school, that there has been an influx of, you know, extra babals showing up in the classroom. Yeah. Whether it's siblings or friends that will come over for play dates, you may be like me and have noticed you open your screen, you're ready, you're prepared, and you see little faces sitting there. And you may try to reach out to the support team, have them reach out to mom. They know the rhetoric. They know there's only supposed to be one child per lesson. That's policy. Do they always put respect on it? No. Have you probably done feedback and sent a ticket? Yes. At that point, what do you do? Well, that's what I want to talk about today. When you've done all the proper necessary steps that you're supposed to do to cover yourself as far as your responsibility in the classroom, your legal responsibility, all of that stuff, then it's time to say, okay, we're not going to swim against the current. We're going to make this work in our favor because remember, our goal is to be blessed, not stressed. So here's some things that I do. Let me give you two examples of students that I have. My first student, I really don't have to do too much beyond verbal with her. She takes her lessons down in the lobby of her apartment complex because her Wi Fi isn't really strong in her apartment. And so her mom, has her in the lobby, and oftentimes there's other students there because they've been out of school, and they'll come and they'll get all in the background in the camera and say stuff and giggle, and she gets distracted and she wants to go play with them. And for the longest, when I tried to make her refocus, she would get agitated and she would like really not want to participate, kind of dry. If you're a kid and your friends are playing, you don't want to focus on no school lesson either. So what I started learning to do was, when her friends would come over to the computer and things like that, I would say to them, I would speak to them, and then I would say, tell her to let them know that she's going to teach them some English after the class, so that you need to learn. And so she would be like, oh, and she would say something to them, she whatever translated, and then they would get excited and they would move, they would leave. And I guess the idea of, ooh, I'm going to learn something new and I need you to know it so you can teach me, that helped them. But I noticed when I started doing that, they would stay away from the camera because if they come back, I'd be like, she can't teach you. She's not learning, and they would run away, and she would focus more because she knows this is an expectation that I get to show off to my friends who don't speak English and who don't have these ESL classes, and I'm going to show them that I can teach and I'm clever, because she loves to be called clever. My second student, I do a combination of that edification as well in front of the other person that's in the classroom, the other child that's in the classroom, but I also take it a step further. Today he showed up not just with his little brother who usually attends class with him, but with two extra friends. One of his friends, Toto, had a whole seat pulled up to the desk, so I knew Toto didn't come to leave. Toto came to sit in his lesson and see what it's all about. And so, what I did with that lesson, as you can see, I have my background selected for Bumblebee, the main student, but I wasn't going to just leave Toto out. He has a whole chair and everything. So, the same thing that I do with Bumblebee's brother. When Bumblebee's brother is in the class, his little brother, I add him to the classroom because Bumblebee is advanced enough to where there's always a little bit of wiggle room during the lesson to add some extension. So, I incorporate his brother in by when it's time to read those sentences where it has two people. I will practice them the first time with Bumblebee, but then the second time I will have Bumblebee read it and then his little brother read the response. And it's so awesome because Bumblebee's speaking has improved. He's very attentive to pronunciation and things because at right after he and I do the exchange, he knows that he's going to turn to his brother, and he does the TPR, he does the finger counting, everything to get his little brother to understand it. They like being a teacher. People love to teach people things that they're confident in knowing, and especially if the other person has no clue of it, you really feel empowered. So I noticed with both these kids, when there was another person that they get to teach, they perform better. So today in class with Toto sitting there, that was the little boy's name that he gave me, with him sitting there, Bumblebee did the same thing. He would say it, he would repeat it perfectly, and then he would turn and he would explain it to Toto, and Toto would respond. But when I have multiple kids in class, and even if I don't, those lessons in that particular platform for that level are very repetitive. It's two to three, two sentences really, and two words repeated over and over and over and over and over, and it could get really boring. So here are some ways that I kept it interesting today. Our um our lesson words were touch, and shoulders. And then our sentences were along the lines of he touches his shoulders, I touch my shoulders, these are my shoulders. Those are the three sentences. And so, to keep it interesting, of course, we patted our shoulders, we touched our shoulders, then I taught them to dust your shoulders off. Okay, that's good. But eventually, that will get old and you will get tired. We can touch the phone, we can touch the computer, we can touch our head. We did, touching your head, touching your face, touching this to notice the senses. We did all of that. I understand those kids getting bored because I get bored myself and I'm the teacher. That's one of the reasons I use digital in my background because I get bored with stuff. So to amp it up, I don't just do digital in my class. I still have physical rewards. Don't get mad at me. This is my bubbles shaped like an ice cream. I got my apples. Use these in several lessons today. These are real apples. Colors, comparisons in size, and or you can do a million things with apples. But I still have physical props. I still have digitals that I use and digital stills that I can pull up. But I've noticed my babies love when teacher Tommy incorporates GIFs into her class. Some people say GIFs, but GIFs, GIF files. And today we talked about shoulders. So at one point in the lesson, we had to learn what these are my shoulders. And so we had to have Big Shaq come and teach us how to shimmy our shoulders. And they thought it was just hilarious. And then we couldn't do it without our sing pig. And we got down with him a couple of slides later talking about those shoulders. Then we got to where we talked about he touches his shoulders. So we needed somebody touching their shoulder. So why not let Mickey show you how he touches his shoulders? And if Mickey isn't enough, what about my boy right here? Oh, yeah, dust it off. Show him. You're looking fly, aren't you? And so I incorporate gifts into my classroom because it adds that digital layer to it. It's movement, it's active, it keeps the eye engaged, and I don't have to try to be overly animated and do the most, especially in this tiny little box corner that I'm in. So that is what we do. When we talk about touch, I have gifts that show a finger actually touching a touch screen. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I find all of my files on Google. So don't ask me, oh, where you do this? Did you make that? They on Google. I just copy them, save them, upload them. Don't know how to do that in Minicam? First, check the Minicam website under support. They have tutorial instruction information there. And then if you don't see it there, check and see if I did a video about it because I'm trying to start keeping these videos shorter, to keep your attention span and to actually share with you valuable stuff. So that is what I do in my classroom. So today, at the end of the lesson, we had Minnie pop up. We had our Sing Pig pop up. I can resize these in Minicam. So let me resize them so they're not cutting off my head. But we had these two guys up here. We had Big Shaq down here shimmying the shoulders. And then we had Mr. Dusted Off over here down in the corner. And so we just shimmy, 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 dust, dust. That's us. And we did our thing, and they just thought it was so hilarious and so funny. And the cool thing was, I had a class full of kids that were standing around the corner, not being a distraction, but were actively engaged, actively repeating words and phrases, actually saying it back and forth to each other in sentence form. And at some point, parents came over and were standing and watching, like, what is this? And all the kids were so elated and so excited. When those kids go home, the friends, and their parents are talking to them about, oh, my child has lessons and stuff, you don't think they're going to ask questions? You don't think they're going to want to know, well, what's the program? How does it work? Will they seem to have fun? And you don't think that if they do try to sign up for any program, their kids aren't going to be like, I want to do what Bumblebee is doing. I want to do his teacher. I would be surprised if they don't. So I add value by giving them the Tommy experience. I don't just teach, you have to give an experience, baby. I give them the Tommy experience so that not only is my student happy, he didn't have to be separated from his friend, listening to them have all the fun while he has to try to say these same four words and phrases over and over again, but he got to be with his friends. They got to see how smart he is. He got to teach them something. He got edified in front of them. He got rewards. He got to dance. It was just excitement overload. So hopefully that helps give you some idea of how to combat situations when you open that camera screen only to see A class full of bell. All right. Well, I hope I helped you, and I'm gonna get out of here because I got some feedback to do. But in the meantime, stay blessed, not stressed. Happy teaching. Goodbye. Goodbye.